Alex Hormozi is undeniably one of the greatest advertisers of our generation. He's grown his portfolio of companies to north of $200 million in annual revenue, but he wasn't always at the top. To get here, he had to learn how to make killer ad creatives and actually get customers. Luckily for us, he has hundreds of videos and podcasts where he gives advice on advertising. So in this video, we're gonna go clip by clip, break down what he's actually doing, and learn Alex Hormozi's best advice on ad creatives. Let's get into it.
My recommendation is let your clients talk. So just let proof do the talking. That's how I would approach it. When I look at all the ads that we've done over the years, like I said earlier, 80% of them are about proof. And so as much as we want to think it's all about us, like no one cares. Alex had the big gym, I still do, right? The big gym company. One, I'm not in the ads anymore at all. And I wasn't for the last 2 years. And it was because we just focused on the customers.
All right, proof over promise, testimonials, UGC, this is the foundation of online ads. And he's right. But here's where most people screw this up, especially in e-commerce, especially in B2C. We analyzed our entire portfolio and we found something counterintuitive. When you stack too many testimonials in one ad, performance drops. Not a little, but significantly. Here's why. The market has gotten more sophisticated. When you show 6 testimonials back to back, you look like you're defending yourself in court. Somehow it feels desperate. It feels like you're trying too hard. And then there's the entire AI problem. People are getting bombarded with low-quality AI-generated testimonials. They are now looking at every testimonial and every before and after asking, is this real? So yes, proof over promise absolutely works. This is 100% legit, but moderate proof, strategic proof, not a testimonial avalanche.
I'll give you a story. I had an ad that we called the Kale ad. So Kale was our DM. He made this ad before he was the GM. And it was this perfect testimonial. And you couldn't have planned it any better. He had like the gym behind him. He had his wife with him. He's like, we were 2 months from shutting our doors, but you can see the gym full. He's like, and within 4 months, it was completely full. Now, when we had that ad, I made about 100 versions of that ad. So I made a black and white version. I did a sepia filter version. I reordered the back end. We swapped out hooks. I will use and abuse it until it doesn't work at all.
Use and abuse it until it doesn't work at all. This is the best part most advertisers can't emotionally handle. Here's what I see constantly. A brand finds a winning ad. It's crushing. And within 2 weeks, they're already bored of it. They want something new. They want something fresh. Meanwhile, they're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. We have ads in our portfolio that have been running for 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, exposed to millions of people, still profitable. The instinct is to chase novelty, but the data says multiply your winners. Now, one thing I'll push back on, he mentioned minor tweaks like black and white filters, sepia tones that used to work back in the days before Andromeda. Ever since Meta rolled out the Andromeda update, those micro variations don't move the needle like they used to. The algorithm is smarter now and it recognizes the same creative with a filter slapped on. So iterate, yes, but iterate meaningfully. New hooks, longer or shorter scripts, same script but new avatar. You can multiply winners for a long while once you understand how to iterate meaningfully.
So 70% is doing the main thing. So just the one ad that you have, 20% is adjacent to that. So as many different ways as you can think of, versions of it that's not that ad. So everything that I see as permutations of that, I see as the 70. Adjacent to that, similar in style, is the 20. 10 is just wild ass ideas of maybe this would work. And so that's how you allocate resources.
So the 70-20-10 rule, this is operational. We use something similar when it comes to our ratio and we call it the weekly portfolio mix. Here's how we break it down. The biggest chunk for us, 70%, goes to what we call near winners. These are the ads that performed okay. Not great, not terrible. So this is where you want to diagnose the choke point. Let me explain. Every ad has a choke point, the moment where people drop off. Maybe the hook is very strong, but they're dropping off at second 8. That's your choke point. You fix that specific moment. You don't rebuild the entire ad, and this is the easiest bet to find brand new winners. Next, 20% goes to multiplying winners. These are the Grand Slam winners. These are proven ads. You're making variations, you're extending their lifespan, you're scaling them. And then the last 10%, that's for new ideas. True tests, unvalidated concepts. Most brands flip this ratio. They spend 70% on new ideas and wonder why their account is a money pit.
Look at the top 10% or 5% of ads. look at the first 3 seconds of each of those ads and see if you can model those 3 seconds with all of the remaining ads that you have. You can even slice that first 3 seconds off of the best winners and paste it onto another 100 plus ads. So that'll get you 50 times more ad creative per good winner that you get, so you can squeeze more out of it. So that's from the creative strategy to drive down ad costs.
This is where it gets good. Hormozi is talking about taking winning hooks and pasting them onto other ads. That's exactly right. But let me show you how we systematize this. We have something called the building blocks repository. We don't look at ads as single units. We look at them as a collection of scenes. Each scene is a building block. Every time a scene performs, a hook that stops the scroll, a CTA that converts, a product demo that holds attention, we clip it, we tag it, we preserve it, and we add it to the repository. When we need a new ad, we don't start from scratch, we open the repository and assemble. This is how you 10x your creative output without 10xing the workload of your creative strategist. But here's the thing. To run a system like this, you need to think of yourself differently.
So I think between those two things, but I think as a quick word of advice, you guys are in the beauty direct-to-consumer business. Yeah. You are a marketing company. And so doubling down on creative as a discipline, like if you want to get to 20 million a year, it's going to be you doing 10 times or 50 times more creative in terms of what you're putting out for output.
You are a marketing agency that happens to sell beauty products. This is the mindset shift. Brands that rely 100% on agencies are falling behind. The ones winning have built in-house creative systems, not because agencies are bad, but because nobody will ever care about your brand as much as you do. And in 2026, speed matters. Creative velocity matters. This is exactly what we do with our consulting clients. We don't run their ads for them, we install the system. Our frameworks, our SOPs, our processes, we hire, onboard, and train their creative team. Usually a creative strategist and a few video editors. And within 90 days, they have an in-house agency that's fully dedicated to their offers. No retainers, no dependency, just our system installed with their business. If that sounds like what you need, links in the description.
When we're talking about increases, there's 4 ways you can show it. One is a percent increase, which is this went up by X%. The next is an absolute increase, which is additional 15,500, right? The next would be actual total number made, which would be their revenue plus the increase, which would be different but similar. You've got a relative increase, which is one that I like, which is what does 15,500 buy you?
Pay attention to this. Hormozi just gave you 4 different ways to say the exact same result. Most people only ever use one. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. For example, one of our clients, Francois, just gave us a testimonial going from 250,000 euros per month to 600,000 euros per month in 4 months. That's the raw result. Now watch. Frame 1, percentage increase. He grew by 140% in just 4 months. Frame 2, absolute increase. He added 350,000 euros per month. Frame 3, total amount. He now runs a 7.2 million per year business. Frame 4, this is the relative increase. He added enough revenue to hire a 5-person creative team and still pocket more profit than before. Same result for completely different emotional impacts. Frame 4 is usually the killer because you're not just saying a number, you're painting a picture of what that number means in their life. Next time you're writing an ad, take your best result and run it through all 4 frames. Pick the one that hits hardest.
Every X days, X minutes, X hours, X weeks, X months, we achieve a Y. And so I found out, because I looked at our stats, I think we had created like 50 figure gyms in 2019. And I was like, well, there's 52 weeks in a year. That means that 1 in every 7.7 days, we create another 7-figure gym. Basically, every week we're cranking out another 7-figure gym. So it takes the idea of like, this is how many of these outcomes we've had. So again, in that weight loss example, I could say, how many people have we had lose, 20 pounds over the last year? And they might say, we've had 200 people hit that. I'd be like, cool. So we can say every 2 days, another person crosses 20 pounds lost at my facility.
Every 7 days, we create another 7-figure gym owner. That's not a new result. That's the same result. 57-figure gyms reframed as a frequency, and it hits completely differently. Here's how to apply this. Take your total outcomes and divide by time. Let's say you're a skincare brand. You've helped 10,000 women clear their acne over the past year. That's 365 days. 10,000 divided by 365 equals roughly 27. Every single day, 27 women cleared their skin thanks to our product. That's the hook. That's a deadline. That's an entire campaign.
This is usually what I will search for. I will look for the piece of data that tells the story that the copy can't tell, or it can reinforce the story that the copy tells and makes it far more compelling.
I think this is great. I will look for the piece of data that tells the story that the copy can tell. And that's the game. Pretty much nothing to add here. If anything, I'd recommend you keep the same energy hunting for the best founder story you can put together to present your product.
Okay? And so the headline is the first sale. And so focus your effort front to back. So if you're thinking about this, you want to put 80% of your attention on the first 5 seconds. And you're like, that's crazy, because it won't take me so long. It should, because if you're doing enough research and you're doing enough homework, if you nail the first 5 seconds, honestly, almost every ad will work.
80 cents of your dollar should go to the headline. This is David Ogilvy. It's more true today than ever. Let me put this in perspective. You could have the best ad in the world. I'm talking infinite budget. If the hook doesn't stop the scroll, nobody will ever see any of it. The hook is not part of the ad. I would argue the hook is the ad. Everything else is just delivery.
When I would record ads, I would record maybe 10 meaty ads. So like the actual value component of it. So I'd break one belief, I would demonstrate one skill, or some little nuance that they didn't understand as well that I knew that I could demonstrate based off experience. And that would be the meat of the ads, right? That's the value part. So I record the value separately. And then I would go and record 30 different hooks. And then when you have 30 hooks, you can paste those onto 10 and I have 300 different ad variations that I can use. And as soon as I have the best converting hook, then I can see which value converts best off that hook. And that's the test and iterate process that creates winners and home runs over and over and over again and allows you to scale.
This is the execution layer. We do exactly what he says. We shoot content in modular scenes, not entire ads. Here's what it looks like. When we're on set or when a creator is filming, we don't say film this ad. We say film these 30 scenes. Scene 1, hook version A. Scene 2, hook version B. Scene 3, hook version C. Scene 4 is a problem scene. Scene 5 is a benefit scene, and so on. Then we take those scenes, we throw them into the building blocks repository, and we mix and match. 30 hooks times 10 bodies times 5 CTAs equals 1,500 possible combinations. Now, you're not creating 1,500 ads, you're assembling them based on validated pieces. That's how you get infinite ammos without burning out your creative strategist. And all of this advice is great, and you absolutely need to be implementing this if you want to actually scale your ads. But if you feel like you're a little lost and you want an exact roadmap to go from 0 to $1 million per month in ad spend, click here to watch the next one where I break all of that down step by step, face by face, so you don't have to waste time and money guessing what to do next. I'll see you over there.